What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I'm coming to y'all in disappointment that the New Orleans Pelicans have been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs and the seeding games. And it's unfortunate because this was the team that so many people wanted to take that A spot to see a Zion versus the LeBron James and the Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers, but it clearly won't be happening as they are now gone. I have a lot of heavy heart on me right now, and it's because a lot of players that I went to bat for, a lot of players that I wanted to see shut up some critics, prove some critics wrong, and just the Pelicans in general. Even though I did not pick them to make it to the playoffs in the beginning of the season, the middle of the season, and even in the seeding games when the NBA restarted, some players played very, very poor, in my personal opinion. And I feel like they would play a lot better considering that they had a second chance to still make the playoffs. And they could not get on a win streak. They did not perform the way I thought that they should. And one of them is Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball was showing improvements with his defense, his improvement with his step back and his spot up 3-point shooting. He didn't shoot the three ball that well. He still has a problem going to the rim. Like I said, the biggest problem with Lonzo Ball is a lot of the time he doesn't try to score or he doesn't try to finish. And if he does, he doesn't do it well enough. And I feel like that still is a problem. His shooting has shown to be still streaky. He can knock them down. He can get hot, but a lot of the time he can't do it consistently, and that's what you need him to do to give guys like Zion and Drew Holiday and other guys on the team floor spacing. You have to be able to catch that thing and let it shoot and then be able to create. But if you're not going to score in the mid-range and you're not going to score in the paint, it still make you a liability a little bit offensively because it makes you more predictable. Either you're going to pass or you're going to shoot the three, and if you put the ball on the ground, you're not really doing anything but looking to pass. And we rather contest and make you do a tough finish than collapse the entire defense and force and kick out when we don't really believe that you're a threat to score that basketball in that paint or at the mid range. So that's still something that Lonzo Ball is going to have to show and have to work on is what is your in between game and what else can you do offensively to become a threat where we're willing to leave Zion or a Favors or a shooter open to stop you. And if he doesn't figure that out, it's going to still make him a one-dimensional scorer, which is unfortunate, but I still think he's still very young. He has shown growth. He has shown improvement. And I feel like he still has time to figure it out. Only thing about it is they going to give him the opportunity? Do they see him as a franchise point guard, or do they see him as the guy that they have right now? But he may not be the guy that we need to take us to that next level. If his game doesn't evolve and continue to get better, it's hard to see Lonzo Ball as a legitimate starter for the rest of his career if the rest of his offensive game doesn't develop. Because just being a passer and a spot up shooter is not good enough in the NBA today. The thing too is if you're not going to continue to play elite level defense, kind of defeat the whole purpose of having you on the court when you have other guys on your team that doesn't shoot the ball well or at least become a consistent threat out there outside of guys like Ingram and JJ Redick. So that's something they're going to figure out. But if you put JJ Redick in, that means you're not playing Drew Holiday. But Drew Holiday also showed that he can't shoot consistently from the 3-point line. So it really puts a lot of pressure on Alvin Gentry, the way he wants to play this team and the way he wants them to play. Another disappointment was Zion Williamson. This is the guy that people felt like, oh, this should be crazy. We want to see LeBron versus Zion. We want to see Zion go out there and perform. We want to see Zion go out there and take this eighth spot from Ja Morant, who they did beat in the regular season and in the seeding games. But other than that, they just couldn't win at all. And Zion was one of the reasons. He started off becoming limited when it comes to playing and being effective and couldn't really play fourth quarters because of how the coach chose to use him. Then it became now he can play a lot of minutes, but he didn't play that well defensively especially. But he also struggled scoring the ball around the rim, finishing. He struggled going to the paint, looking for the better shot. He had forced something up or to try to run into somebody and finish, and that didn't work at all in the seeding games as he did go against better teams. he didn't really change or adjust or even update his play. He just wanted to explode to the rim and just try to force it in, or either just overpower his opponent, even if that was long and lanky, and forced him to, switch up his shot like an acrobat. But he couldn't even do that like he normally would. And even when he tried to force it in, he wasn't finishing enough of those either. And I feel like Zion was a disappointment in these seeding games, and he also was a disappointment in general when it comes to how he has played. Even though I did have him finishing in the top three of my Rookie of the Year voting, I thought he would be more hungrier. I thought he would want to go out there and prove that he is one of the better players in the league. I thought he would want to go out there and prove that he can be a guy that can transcend the NBA like a lot of people thought, by doing whatever it takes to push this team over the edge and get them into a playoff spot. Brandon Ingram, I didn't feel disappointed in him. I feel like he went out there and worked his magic and did what he was supposed to do, creating off the dribble, creating shots for himself, hitting a spot up corner and spot up threes in general. I feel like that's something that we needed to see from him, and I feel like that's something that he had to continue to do, because some people think that he might not be able to keep it up. Some people think that he had a fluky shooting season, but in the seeding games, he showed that he is the player that he has shown all season, and he did play decently well for what he is at this point. I just still see Ingram as a guy that has a more potential. And that's a good thing for him to be the most improved player in the All-Star already, and he still has upside defensively. He still have upside offensively, and the fact that he actually started playing well with Zion on the court, which we really didn't see that much of during the regular season because Zion was injured, and when he came back, Zion started being more the focal point, and then Ingram started taking the back seat. But in the seeding game, we've seen Brandon Ingram start being more aggressive and not passing as much, but taking more shots. And we've seen Zion regress. So that's something that they're going to have to figure out as they continue to try to build around these two. And I think that Ingram has shown this season that he's worth the max, or even if they take a couple million off, he's definitely going to be worth that contract, because you're not going to see a guy of his length, of his size, his shooting ability, his creation ability that often. And that's why it's a luxury just to have him. But defensively, him and Zion and guys like Lonzo are going to have to take their defense to another level, especially individually, if they want to be a serious threat in the West. It's a lot of good teams in the West, and it's some great teams in the West. But like I said, it's so many teams that's right in that area with them that they have to beat the great teams and the good teams to get that top 8 spot in the West, and they just not there just yet. But one thing I will definitely say is I like what I'm seeing from what they are, but I'm also more disappointed just because they have the talent, they have the coach for the offense, and they just can't figure out how to get their defense to catch up to their offense. And even sometimes their offense be so streaky because they rely on a lot of jump shots, and a lot of their guys are not great shooters just yet or never have been. So that's one thing that I feel about the Pelicans that they can improve and grow on, as they are still very young. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is still very raw when it comes to scoring the ball, finishing around the rim. He has shown the ability to play make. He has shown the ability to create, but he hasn't been able to do it consistently at the highest level. Derek Favors looked it good defensively through the regular season. He didn't really show that much in the seeding games, but he's a guy that if they let go, he is replaceable if they bring back. He's only 29, so he can still be a solid player for them. Jackson Hayes, still raw, can't shoot, can't space the floor, but can still, provide some type of impact from time to time. But that's what they drafted him for, to help him develop in the future and be something special then, and he's not there now. Josh Hart playing a little bit out of position. He still shows that he's trigger happy, still shows that he can't create consistent enough against great teams, but that's not that much of a problem because he is one of your 7th or 8th guys. But that is something that he needs to improve on. When I look at the rest of this team, they still have some young guys that can possibly be 8th or 9th guys on a good team, and that's what they are aiming to be. So They're young talent, still showing that they can play, they can still score, they can still attack defenses, they can still, carry the load from time to time. But they have so many pieces on this team. It's important to figure out which ones you want to keep, which ones you want to move, who you want to get in to make this core more competitive. And can Zion and Ingram play together offensively and defensively at the same time on the court? Not only that, you still got to see how much do they really want it, because their defense is so terrible and they give up so many layups and so many shots that is only going to make their job harder trying to close and win games if they can't get any stops, which they haven't been able to do. And that's one of the reasons why they struggle to close out the regular season, but they also struggle in the seeding games because they can't defend at all. And if you're going to give up shots to great teams and great players, which is in the Western Conference, and all the teams you're basically going to play against in the Western Conference, you have a huge disadvantage going to each game, especially if you can't get hot from three, which they have struggled to do consistently. And it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. So let me know what you guys think about the Pelicans. Are they overrated? Did we underrate them? Is Zion still showing that the injuries don't look good, the conditioning doesn't look good, and if he can't make his free throws and finish around the paint, he might be a little bit less effective than we think. He still has potential. He still has the explosiveness. He still has the ability to get better. And so does Ingram, so does Ball, so does Nickel, so does Hart. But we can't just keep saying they're this, and make this imagination of what we think they should and could be, because it is reality. And they're not the team that we continue to think that they are. They're not the team that we think that they should be. And they proved that during the regular season, and they also proved that during the seeding game. But we still got to have hope that they can figure it out one day, as a majority of their main pieces and cornerstone in their foundation are still under 25, but they're going to eventually start having to pay these guys. They're going to eventually start having to scope and mold a roster that fits well with Ingram and Zion, and really push them to the next level to really get this team from not just being a playoff team, but a team that can win the title, which a lot of people think that they eventually will do, or at least compete for one. And if that's the case, they have a little bit longer way than what people think. But at the same time, we still have to see what David Griffin does with these players that's young and with these picks, and see if he can get to another star. Can he draft another star? Can he trade up in the draft and get another star that can fit with these other two guys, and Zion and Ingram, as those are the main cornerstone of this team. And he's going to have to figure out what he's going to do with Drew Holiday as he's getting older, and he's going to want to compete for a title, and he's going to want to find something else that he can do to help another team, even if it's getting less money, even if it's taking more money to go to a different team. They're going to find out, do they want to pay him, do they want to keep him, do they want to trade him, and what he's worth, even if they do either or. So that's going to be another thing to watch out for. Other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook, to show support. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook already. Also, check out my website. I do sell merchandise on my Facebook page and my spread shirt. Both of those will be in the description below. Also, if you're new to the channel, I made over 1,000 videos, and I make a video and I try to do it each and every day. So if you love basketball, you can't get enough of, you need that fix, you need that thing to really push you every day, this is the channel for you, as I do free agency, trade deadline, top 10 list, season previews. Not only that, NBA playoff prediction, trade deadline, free agency, and even summer league analysis and breakdowns, and even draft coverage. So I got a lot of offer. You can check out my videos. If you like this video, check out my older videos. If you like this video and my older videos, why not like, comment, subscribe, and also share? That's a small little thing you guys can do to help the channel continue to grow. And it's a way to show appreciation that I make videos that you like. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm going to enjoy y'all day.